a bit. I've muted myself rather than the microphone. I just wasn't talking. Um, no, I started early, so I was just doing a few things, getting a few things done, sorted, all that jazz. Um, right, who was that? Glitch just invited me to play F1. Thanks, Glitch. Um, I am the gamer. Okay, so we are at Imola. It is a sprint race weekend. What is it? And on a sprint race, we do short qualifying. So there you have it. Yeah, among other things, Checo. That's yeah, not tea and biscuits. I'm a coffee man, you know this. I've got coffee. I've got some. I've actually got some Bass Shandy as well because I'm pushing the boat out this weekend for my birthday. Hopefully, if Bass hear that, they'll send me some for free because I've sponsored them. You know, sort of said their name, free advertising. Um, yeah, not a lot else really. Put some dishes away from dinner. You know, exciting stuff. Really exciting. Am I not on spectator mode? Sorry, my apologies. Was holding everybody up. That means we got 20 then. We've got a full grid, which is always great news. We won't get a repeat of last week when we kept having nutters joining the lobby and crashing into people in a way. We've only got the actual drivers might crash into each other, but at least we won't get idiots joining. Um, no, oh goodness, no glitch. No, I had one of my most violent hangovers of all time on that stuff, and I will never touch it again. Oh, it's the most vile, disgusting, vile stuff. I'm a cider drinker anyway. I don't drink lager. Well, I do. I do drink lager. That's not true. It's not Stella. I usually, but I am a cider drinker. I'm on a night out. I'm usually a pint of Thatcher's Haze is my thing at the moment. Love the haze. Unless they got Scrumpy Jack or a type of Scrumpy, then I'll leave the haze alone and go to the Scrumpy. But not very many places do that these days. Not even down here in the west. I doubt you get Scrumpy anywhere up north, but down here in the west, not even many places down here do the old Scrumpy Jack. Right, people beginning to ready up. We're getting somewhere, and a few new names again this week, as there always is. Now, some of them may be new drivers, others maybe some of the drivers changing their names. I don't know which it is. Um, so don't blame me if I don't know who you are if you changed your name because you should have told me really. But there you go. What shenanigans did you get up to for your? I had Chinese. I showed you my Chinese. That was my shenanigans glitch. It'll be a bit better next year because it's my 40th next year, so it'll be a bit better next year. I'll actually party next year. I don't think I'll have an actual party. I had a party for my 30th and it was crap. So I think I'll just have a huge night out next year. Or maybe a weekend away. Could do that, can I? Could do a long weekend away in Spain or something. Hmm. At least January. Not the greatest time, is it? Um. Yeah, basically I bought Chinese. It's lasted me 3 days. So, I've had a Chinese weekend. I still haven't had any birthday cakes. I've been so full from the Chinese I haven't been able to eat the cake. So we've got to finish early enough that I can actually eat a bit of cake between the streams tonight, please, guys. So just waiting for the last one. Skullface just spinning around a little bit at the moment. So Skullface is a new driver, or a new name in a way. Negral we've seen before. Raptor always. Segment Phoenix always. Yan, is that one I've seen before? It's got RP1, so I'm guessing that's one of Maytex's mates, which is usually an indication they're going to be quick. I don't know how Matex knows all these fast people. You'd think he'd be fast himself, wouldn't you? Knowing all these fast people. Before you come on crying, Matex. I'm joking, Matex. I'm joking. Yeah, turn 1 death. You're absolutely right. Skullface. Yeah. What is it with turn 1? Why do they always make turn 1 a crappy corner at tracks? It's every track I say it on now. Turn 1's really bad here. Turn 1's really bad here. Every single track. In fact, Bahrain, which technically turn 1 at Bahrain should be ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, we're short qualifying, so the guys will probably get 3 runs in. It is a reasonably short track, so they may be able to squeeze a 4th in, but the standard is usually 3. And Glitch himself is out first on track, so we'll stick with him. So, in terms of race, it does usually give us a pretty decent race, Imola, to be fair. You usually get some really good racing around here, but you also get the incidents mixed in as well. This little turn here, this right-hander can cause a spinner or 2, normally. So, I think safety car likelihood around here, the average for safety cars at Imola, actually as far as average goes for the season, it's pretty low. It's 2.3, so that's pretty low, you know, compared to other tracks. So, you know, I don't. It's we'd be doing very well to end up safety car free around here, but we'll see how we go. Just, I think every track, you know what it's like with safety cars. You can go great for 20 laps without one, and then or 15 laps, say, without one, and then once one comes out, it kind of becomes like a, I don't know. It just sort of becomes they just keep coming out. Once one comes out, more come out. It's, anyway, this man so far pretty good. Always set yourself little objectives throughout sessions. As we got a disqualified for the session, handle for driving the wrong way. So I assume he's had a spin, has tried to rejoins the track and has probably gone the wrong way for about 5 meters or something, and the game's gone, no, not allowed to do that, mate, and disqualified him. The game does like doing that. And here comes Glitch then to complete our first lap of qualifying, 1:16.8. So a decent start. And Bob Dylan crossed the line, 1:17.1. This is Hammy on his way in the McLaren. So 1:16.7.75 goes P1 for the moment. Here's that Phoenix. So Skullface comes across, goes P4 on a 1:18.8. Soap McPhoenix of 1:20.3. All these drivers will have their own individual goals at different paces. There is quite a big pace difference between front of the pack and back of the pack in WRL at the moment, so it's hard to know. Jan then a 1:15.9. Negral, who I know is very quick, is 1:16.003. Matex 1:16.0 as well. So they're already laying down foundations for a quick quali. Don't know who was that one. Somebody else is. Oh, Baz has just shot up to a 1:17.4, which puts him P7. Somebody else can around the final corner if we can find them. Oh, that's going into the drivers that have already completed a lap again. Okay, so here's one of our newer drivers. Drove last week. Did alright in qualifying, but then not so great in the race. But showed potential in a way. Oh, he's just invalidated out at final corner as Black Reaper, and stays out on track. But yeah, as you can see by the track map, it's still red. It has invalidated this lap and next lap, so a little surprised he didn't just dive in there. Quite a lot of invalidations actually, looking down the order. Here's picking Loco. Just coming through that right-hander we mentioned earlier on, up towards the end of sector 2. So, out of the chicane. Oh, does a little bit of weaving around. Why not? That suggests to us that maybe he's not on a proper hot lap. Well, in fact, he's not, is he? I think he's actually, what he's done is done two two out laps, which is something that's becoming a bit more popular among drivers at the moment. So, let's ride on board and do the hilly hot lap with him. We head down towards probably about turn 3 because of the two little kinks on the road, but we'll call it turn 1 for now. Okay, left-hander. Should be flat out for all of that. It did sound like he had a little lift. Head into the second chicane. Pretty nicely through there. Maybe a bit wide on exit. Into the hairpin, nice and tight. Gets on the power nicely. Heads up to our next part of the track. So, that's left-hander takes us into the double right then. So this is the late heavy brake in, and then just in qualifying you've got to attack the exit, and in race you need to be careful through there, particularly with a high load of fuel earlier on. It will pull you around, throw you about quite easily. And, now down into the final two corners that are so important to the lap. You can have a really great lap, and then if you miss one of these up, it can completely ruin it. So, a little bit lag on my screen there, but the actual corner looks okay. 1:17.1 from Piccoloco to get his session up and running. We'll see a lot quicker from him before the end of the session, no doubts. Raptor, previously it's called Supply Raptor, but not get registering a time on the first run. It is an easy track to invalidate on, so it doesn't surprise me that a few drivers haven't got times on the board. Just caught Hammy as he's crossed the line, so to start a lap. That's good news for us. So, was that Piccoloco? It might have been getting well out of the way. I imagine he was further up the road by now, but whoever it was, getting well out of the way anyway. It might be Black Reaper. And, nicely done. It's this chicane that becomes another part of the lap, which is so important to get a good chicane there. You can easily lose 3 or 4 attempts through there if you take it badly, so it's an integral part of the track. I'm just going to notice that Negral seems to be having a few issues. I'm just going to see if I can invite him, see if that helps. So across the line then, Hammy, just over a half a second improvement. A 1:16.2 takes him back into P4, so a good second run to move him up the field a little bit, and sort of put him on the tail end of the top 3. Yeah, see if we can spot an improvement. Goldface just coming over the line, just under a half a second down on that run. Black Reaper, so now he's on a hot lap. Let's see how he gets on. I need to come out of the stream on my phone and then just go back in again. I don't know why it just frozen on my phone. On the phone data doesn't always work too great, actually, to be fair. For them, just coming down to the final couple of corners. Head to line 119, 162. That puts in P15 for the moment. Still early doors yet. 7.5 minutes left of the short quali. So, and not to forget, of course, that this is effectively just the qualifying for the qualifying with the sprint race to come. So, Rats are across the line to start his hot lap. So we'll stick here. So, usually a driver that we would associate with being up the front somewhere, but with the I thought on my screen he'd gone off track there, but into the gravel, but just a bit of lag. News. But yeah, I was just gonna say, with the fact he didn't manage to get a run in on his first one, and on this one he just needs to concentrate mostly on getting a time on the board, and he'll still have enough time to pit and put on another set of fresh boots. Not working on my data, so just let it run. So as Raptor then comes down towards the last couple of corners, moves off slightly on the right wheel. So looked good in a way, and opens up DRS, keeps it tight to the inside. So it's a P2. Both Alpines, it appears to look like they're a different colour there. Both Alpines 1 and 2 as it stands right now. So they're looking very strong tonight. Kai is shot up into third on a 1:15.7. Nicely done, Kai. Well, he's up through sector 2. From 16.003. We invalidated it. It's not. Oh no, sorry, it was slower than the previous lap. Okay, no worries. So here his improvement at the moment. That's his clearly cruising. So, oh no, he just improved actually. My apologies, it's Piccolo. He's just actually improved his time and gone up to P7. Another one who is improving, 10th up through the first sector. Let's see how he does. Got sat P12. On 1:17.4. So 10th up through the first sector. I missed the sector 2 times, so I'm still messing about with my phone. But into the pits he comes, Spaz. So might have been tactical. If he'd have carried on, completed a lap and done an in lap, he may not have had enough time to have another go. So he felt, even if he was improving, if he felt it wasn't by enough, he may have opted to have another go by coming into the pits and sticking another fresh set of tyres on. Ghost Rider does improve, but just short of 1/10 of a second, but stays in P13. This man by the looks of it on an in map, I think. There's someone else. I don't know if it's an in lap or an out lap, so let's just stick with them. See if they cross the line. Next run for potential pole winner. It's nice through the first chicane, but it's gotten out of shape on the exit, so that has ruined that lap for Matex. He's going to have to do a cool down lap, effectively, and I'll be doing that to your tyres, so a bit silly. Just needs to do a cool down and have another go. Didn't want to be running across the gravel on your tyres. That was shop. No improvement there. What about down here? A name I can only say as in Crab is the only name I can think to call that person. So M Crab. Or actually, there's a few French in the league. Well, the boss man himself's French, Bob. So we've got a few French drivers. So maybe it's En Crab. En Crab. They'll be taking the mick out of me in Discord for my French accent now. En Crab. St. McPhoenix improves by 1.3 seconds, goes up to P15. That guy at the moment is on an outlap, still yet to get a time on the board. Handel, if you're listening, obviously you're disqualified earlier in the session. A bit harsh, but you may find, mate, that starting at the back may not be a bad thing around here, so I shouldn't worry too much. As Heat Gang improves by half a tenth from 16.9. Let's go to if this man can put it out of the bag. He's capable of it. He can really hook the lap up together. He is capable. Tyres out the session as well. He's in the pits. Final corner then for Hammy, and it's a line. He'll keep it nice and close to the right hand side. 15.5. He does go fastest. Nice lap from Hammy. Will that stick? It won't, because Raptor's beaten it. 15.4, and this man, he was certainly contender, is down a couple of attempts through sector 1, which is going to be difficult to pull back. Where is Kai? He's not on the lap. Like Matex, he's earlier in the lap, so let's stick here for now. He's going up towards the end of sector 2, and is now up. What a sector 2 that was! My goodness me. Over 2 attempts down in sector 1 to being nearly half a temp up in sector 2. And now the final couple of corners to give him an improvement across the line. He doesn't need much for P2, but he's going to go further. My goodness me, if he'd have put sector 1 up as well, may have got a 114 out of Jan if he'd have put the whole lap together, but inside, there's an invalidation here from Raptor, so into the pits he comes. Guy is invalidated, whereas Matex to the final couple of corners. Can he upset the apple cart? No, he can't. Doesn't improve half a tenth down in the end. And I think that's it. I was going to quickly switch to Glitch, but he's gone into the pits. And everybody else has a checkered flag, so we'll just be waiting for Glitch to be pushed into the pit. As far as I know, on debut for Jan, unless that's for Anne, I don't know. I'm so lost on names these days. I think I might have just got kicked from the session. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I think I have, you know. So we're going to have to rejoin, but if you're going to get kicked from the session, get kicked between quali and race. That's not a bad time for it to happen. So I'll just get back in. So it just means I won't be able to take you through the whole of the grid. I'll have to just see it on the... Yeah, I'll delete that. That was an old one. Just have to start of the sprint race like everybody else. Right, should be able to get in time for the sprint race. Shouldn't be any too much of a rush. And so as we know, 11 laps of Imola. I don't think you'll likely see anybody using softs for 11 laps. I'd imagine. Well, you would imagine the whole field will just use mediums. Thanks, Glitch. I'm just getting in, buddy. I am in. I've just got to wait. It's on the session ending screens. I've got to wait until it comes out of them before I can join. So it won't be a moment. There we go.
Want me to put it away? Yeah.
Did I just get kicked again? I did. Why am I having these problems tonight? It's been fine. Well, it was fine on the last race I did at 5. So the kids' races do every week. It does seem to happen more when you hit loading screens, doesn't it? That's what I find anyway. You get to loading screens and it tends to. That's when it tends to kick. It does happen during the sessions as well. It's just I find it happens more when you're at loading screens. But in a way, in we go. Let's hope we can. Should be able to. There should have been a formation lap, so we should be alright. But in fact, they aren't actually underway yet, so we're absolutely fine. We haven't missed anything at all, which is great news. Timer runs out. Here we are. So, say formation lap first. As the Alpines did fill up the front row. So, quick look at the tyres, and yeah, as expected, then everybody on medium tyres. I just seem to. There's something in the back of my mind tells me that the softs around here will just run out a bit too early, so I think they can manage about. I think it's either 8 or 9 laps they can manage around here before they start to die on you, and so it just, unfortunately, in those last couple of laps you can really get sort of penalised on it, but on the wrong tyre. But we're gonna have that today, so everybody on the mediums for the sprint race. So it should just be a quick, simple run through 11 laps. Before we go into the main feature race, which is a good one around here. It has similarities to Silverstone, not in terms of the track. The track's completely different to Silverstone, but strategy-wise, it has similarities because it's another one where the pit stop around here is so long. It takes so long that you really don't want to be pitting more than once. So it's very much a medium to hard or a hard to medium track. You can mix it up slightly. You can use a set of softs, so you could do soft to hard or hard to soft, but the most likely strategy will be the medium to hard or hard to medium for the main feature race. But say sprint race first. Let's go with. It's going to give us a good view because you never got a good view at the start around here. So, a couple of disqualifications as people missed their grid slots, and that's a pretty decent view. So, let's stick on board with Negral off the line. See if we can see who gets the good launch at the front. Phoenix, one to line up. So here we go. 3 lights on, 4 lights on, 5 on. And away we go for the sprint, and it's a really good start from Kai. Looks like he's just getting blocked off a little bit from Raptor. Alpines maybe working together a little there. A decent start from the Growl as well. He battles with Hammy. I did see somebody off track. It looks like they've recovered okay. And it looks like Matex may have been the one. I'm not sure. He's dropped down to P9, so he may well have been the one. He's dropped down a bit. Black Reaper off to a decent start. Bob looks to hold off Checo at the moment in this early part of the sprint race. Remember, this is effectively just for qualifying. You do get points for top 8. So it's 8 points for first, going down to 1 point for 8th. Which is exactly the same. In fact, WRL does indeed use the exact same point system as real life for both the sprint and the main feature race. So Skullface there again, side by side. Quite nicely with Baz. I think he's actually gained a position as not sure who's at it. It's Mr. Heat Gang. Unfortunately, though, his teammate, Skull's teammate, has had a bit of a spin. Oh, and that's Bob Dylan over on the right hand side there. I'm not entirely sure what happened. I think there was it must have been a contact because I saw his wheel coming off the car. And it wasn't from hitting a wall. Still on track, so it's definitely a contact. And we have full course yellow flags, so the Alpines, by the way, have switched places at the front, so Raptor now leading, Jan in second. I don't know if Jan is Varane, it might be, but I have no idea. Going by pace, it probably is. The Growl in P3, I4, so let's just have a quick look at the position changes. So, a couple of big gainers, lots of gainers, but Black Reaper up 4, Checo up 4, Skullface up 7, superb start from them. Up 5 was the man that got disqualified from qualifying, Handog from last on the grid to 15th, so a very decent start there as well. Heat Gang's down 9, that's following the spin. Matex is down 3, so I think it was Matex that ended up off the track at the start, and we saw when we were looking back from the other car, but it's hardly sure. Hammy's dropped a couple of places, but still very much in the mix. Just to confirm here, this is a virtual safety car, this is not a full safety car. So it's oh, how does that happens? We've got a there's a drive-through there for on Crab, who's sped under the virtual safety car. PR Thomas has joined, but we are full Thomas, I'm afraid, this evening. And the other penalty went to Black Reaper, who's had a severe collision with Matex under the VSC. Not sure how that's happened, but it's 5-seconder. A battle going on here. This is Ghost Rider alongside one of our new drivers, Handog, who's the driver that started at the back. He's up 5 places, but it's up 4 now as Ghost Rider gets back. Oh, but Ghost Rider loses it. It looked to me like Ghost Rider lost it. If you saw a bit of contact, then please correct me, but it looked to me like Ghost Rider got the move done and then just touched the curb and lost it, but unfortunately, it looks like Handog's lost his front wing. That is unfortunate after such a good start. But like I said, towards the end of qualifying, starting at the back around here for the main feature race really might not be the worst thing in the world. The start of the sprint race was not too bad, as Matex has had a moment and lost his front wing. Oh, it depends. Is this we've got a safety car, so is this a full or a virtual? I'm looking down, I can't see an actual safety car, but I was going to say one or both of these guys might, or one of the 3 guys, or all 3, whatever, might retire out with it just being a sprint race, but they're carrying on. And yeah, no, I think it is a full safety car. So if we go on with On Crab, I just want to check, but I think it is should find parked just up here as the safety car. It is indeed. So they could have gone on to softs. I'm a little surprised. Switch to a new. That means they've used both sets of medium tyres. I don't think that's an ideal scenario. Yeah, Handog and Matex both went to the softs. Yeah, I don't think that's an ideal scenario at all. In terms of pit stops, the only one who might take a pit stop here, really, logically, is Ghost Rider. Anybody who's picked up damage might opt to take a pit stop, but Ghost Rider has the gap that he can pit to softs and then get back out. So logically, he should pit to give himself a tyre advantage for the rest of this qualifying. And that's Skullface coming in. Oh, and typically, as he made a late decision to come in, actually, he's picked up 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane, which immediately destroys the strategy decision. So get a good view here, actually, of the long exit out of the pit lane here, which is why it takes so long, this pit stop. It's not as bad as Silverstone, but it is one of the longest of the season, without a doubt, in terms of time spent in the pit lane. So, Enclave picks up 3 seconds. I'm going to love saying that name. I'm going to say that name every chance I get now. Enclave. Mainly because I want Matex to tell me off about my French accent when we get into the Discord later. Or Bob. One of them can tell me off. So, just check. I'm pretty sure all these penalties. The Enclave's got the 3 seconds. Sorry, I didn't have those details up. So Enclave's got 3 seconds and a drive-through. Ideal. 5 seconds for Black Reaper and Skullface. So Black Reaper would have been the other one who maybe could have pitted. I think he has now. Is he? Yeah, he has now. Makes sense. Stick a set of softs on, get rid of the 5 seconds. What about Skullface? Has he stayed out? Ultimately, he's given up a load of position to Skullface just to pick up 5 seconds going into the pits. That's a bit of a nightmare for him. Let's see Matex continuing on. Handog pitted again. So, should be it. We should have the safety car in this lap. Black Reaper shouldn't have any issues catching up. Which means we'll officially, well, we'll be restarting lap 7. Which means 5 laps remaining of the sprints. So, still looking very, very good for the Alpines. I honestly wouldn't bet against them having a 1-2 in the main race as well. But there's certainly drivers, Negral, we're on board with here, Kai, Hammy, Piccoloco, Glitch, all these guys, RKA, who won last week, of course. So, very much got the pace to upset the Matex. Obviously, he's down at 17 at the moment, but he's definitely got the pace about him. And you never quite know what might happen in the race. You could end up safety car affected, like we have been here. Could work in Matex's favour to get him back up the front somewhere. So we'll have to see. So we'll wait for the leader to go, and that's it. He goes. It's a long, long run down to turn 1, and I wouldn't be shocked to see Jan protect his teammate here. As we've lost Matex. Here's we've lost Matex, and I think something's happened to Glitch as well, which has dropped him right the way down. So that is not ideal. That presumably can only be contacts on a restart, which is never ideal. You shouldn't even be driving alongside the car, another car on a restart, so you should never be able to make contacts on a restart. It's a bit silly. I saw a car in the background, looked like one of the Alfa Romeos getting a little bit out of shape, but didn't lose any places, so it's clearly still going. And this is Kai then, very close to the back of Hammy. Obviously everybody's very close to everyone at the moment, so a bit hard to know exactly where to look. Checo was getting very, very close to RKA there. So, oh, Kai picks himself up 3 seconds. Things just slightly begin to spread out a little bit, but that guy at the moment, I'm going to look at we split the Alfa Romeos and gone into P11. He's having a look at the second Alfa Romeo. Gonna be tight. Coming around turn 1. It looked like that guy used. It looked to me like that guy decided to opt out of that as Mr. Heat Gang spins it. Not sure exactly what caused him to spin that. I think he must have ran over a fly or something that spun him. No idea. But spin it he did. He's dropped down to P16. Obviously that's allowed that guy back into P11. And he'll see if he can catch back on Skullface again. But ultimately, he's going to get that position off of Skullface anyway with the 5-second penalty. As we head towards the end of lap 8, meaning 3 laps remaining. Just nip back up. Hammy now finds himself in P3 with Kai P4 and Negrao in P5, but Negrao very close to the back of Kai here. Moves to what will eventually be the outside of turn 1, but the move's done way before they reach turn 1, and nicely done indeed from Negrao. Back into P4 then, and he'll go after Hammy and see if he can get back to his P3 position. Ultimately, ideally for Kai, if he can latch onto these guys, could be a chance they might tow him away from Piccoloco before the end so he doesn't drop any places, but I suppose ultimately it's to minimise the damage. And so if he could, ideally really, if he could finish far enough ahead of Checo, I think is probably the genuine target. If he can make that a 3-second gap, then he'd still be starting very handsomely up the grid for the main feature race. Stick with this because just looking through the field, there are some other battles, but this is our closest, and we can also see in the background the other close one, so which is Piccoloco and RKA. I've just noticed Kai did drop out of the 1 second to these two, which is the exact thing he didn't want, and Onclad picks himself up an additional 5 seconds, having crossed the white line on pit exit, which is never ideal. And now he's got another 10 seconds for exceeding track limits. Although, to be fair to him, that is probably because he's come out in a load of traffic and he's probably taken off the road to try and get out of the way as Skullface is out of spin. And that's coming out of turn... I don't know if it's coming out of turn 2 or whether it's going into turn 3, but he's decided to retire on track, which is never the thing to do, Skullface. If you watch this, never do that, please. Don't allow retirements on track. Might be a bit hasty now, actually. His car's not moving, actually. Usually when they retire on track, they do move, and we've lost 2 more. Soap McPhoenix and Black Reaper are out. Don't think we're going to reach them. it's round at the double right hander with that really difficult right hand turn where it's happened. So, well, I don't know if they were side by side or if one of them's had a spin and collected the other one. Might be the more likely scenario. Since we've been sort of watching a bit further down, Kai has picked up a further 3 seconds, but RKA's also picked up 3 seconds now. With a yellow flag, it's a bit of a battle materialising down here. This is between Baz, who currently has 3 seconds, and then you've got the two McLarens, Checo and Hammy. Not looking on very late stage, of course. We're on the final lap, so now. Well, I thought Hammy had actually moved out. Sorry, I thought Checo had actually moved out the way for Hammy, but then that was a very tight between the two on the exit of the chicane. Here we go then. So Raptor takes victory in a sprint race and will start pole position. Jan in P2, Negrao P3, Piccoloco P4, RKA in P5, continuous good form from last week. Kai 6th in the end with the penalties taken into account. Hammy in P7, Checo P8, Baz in 9. Handog, brilliant sprint race for Handog. Got 10 places from last on the grid to qualified P10 for the race. Wonder if we could do it again in a race and take the victory. That would be something. That guy with a good one as well, up into P11. Heat Gang P12. Ghost Rider in P13. Glitch. Unfortunately, some sort of spin occurred for him and drops him down to P14. And Enclave, who's got a massive host of penalties, will be last of the finishers in 15th for the sprint race. So, moving on to the feature race, they will start where they've finished the sprint race. Handog, driver of the day for the sprint race, and I don't think anybody could argue with that one. Up 10 places, and did very well indeed. Stayed out of trouble, and in the most part, say that did actually lose a front wing at one point, but it wasn't his fault, as I saw. So there we have it in a way. I would usually, guys, we usually take a look at the race director for incidents, but, well, let's go into the sprints. Yeah, as you can see, when I press the button, it just disappears, so can't do it on that, unfortunately. Yeah, tends to happen quite a bit. Gamers of what? Who? Sorry, you're obviously one of the drivers. Which driver are you? Gamers of what? Just let me know. You can let me know on the chat, and I'll see it in a moment. Because I'm going to grab a quick coffee before we start the race. They don't usually have much of a break here, so I'm going to be quick. Right, there we go. Yes, glitch. I mean, I feel like I say it every week. I can't deny it. It does feel like I say it every week, but you are not allowed to drive side by side with another car on a safety car restart, whether that is full safety car or virtual safety car. So you must cross the safety car line before any of that, before you can be side by side with another car. And the safety car line tends to be the line of the pit entry. So, you know, unfortunately, it's not a penalty they've integrated into the game. And as if we know anything with gamers, if they think they could take advantage of something, they will do. So there we have it. Seems like I didn't need to rush. We are having a little break for once. What's going on? Oh, there you go. Somebody hit the button. Ah, dear, yeah, glitch. That's. Well, actually, I was just thinking, actually, glitch. If that's the right, when you say right hand kink, if that's the right hand, you know, where the DRS line is, just after that little right kink, that is actually far enough round. They can be side by side at that point. Because it's. I always used to think it was the start finish line that you had to wait for. It's not. It's the safety car line, which tends to be a line which is in line with the the pit entry, basically. It's hard to bloody describe. It's the best thing is to go online and take a look. But there you go, anyway. You want to offer a promotion. You can want to offer it or you like that, which you're not offering it. And spam. Go away. Excellent. Excellent. That sounded quite good. Was that a good little Mr. Burns impression? That sounded pretty good. Excellent. In my head, that sounds pretty good. So I've completely lost track of what I'm doing here. Right, so Phoenix has been disqualified from the session. Won't make any difference. He'd just be around on the start line. He'd just have slightly cold tyres. But won't make too much difference to him. He's starting in 16th on hard tyres, so I don't think he's expecting to launch and fly up the order too much. In a way, interesting at the front. I guess the Alpines needed to split strategy, so Raptor starting on the hards, Jan starting on the mediums. We'll have to see if they do a swap. So maybe Raptor will allow Jan to take the lead and see if he can build a lead in the early part. While Raptor defends behind, Raptor spins. I don't know what that's all about, but that's me. The amount of people I see doing that these days is ridiculous. But anyway, don't matter. Negral also starting on the hard tyres. Would love to get ahead of Jan immediately. Pick a Loco on the mediums, RKA on the hards, Kai on the mediums. Only different ones to look out for are Hammy on the softs, on Clab on the softs. But as I say, you can still one stop doing by starting on the softs. Let's go down here and see if we can get a decent view of the start again. So the TV camera around here is not a good one. And away we go. And pretty good start actually from the driver we're on board with, RKA, and already is up ahead of the Ferrari of Loco into P4, as is Kai as well, up into P5. So decent start. Good view of turn 1. Looks like everybody gets through on this occasion. Now there is a yellow flag, and it looks like it's Skullface and Bob Dylan who've actually come to contact. And Skullface has left the session. Oh, superb. So, we could benefit of doubt here and hope that they've just left the session or disconnected, and I'll invite them back. Although it says here that they're on Dead by Daylight, which is impressive. That's a very... I've ever seen anybody get into another game so fast. So, yeah, so that would be, if he doesn't join back, that would have made that, to me, that's a new driver, but they would have they've obviously gotten annoyed with contacts, maybe a bit of damage or something. So to me, I mean, it's not my league, I'm not an admin, but if it was up to me, I'd just kick them at the end of this if they don't join back. So, move from the league. It's up to me. As Matex climbs into P11 already, and very nicely at the start. Hammy gets ahead of Heat Gang. Fat Checo has gotten ahead of Hammy, ideally. As Hammy's teammate here, I'd probably just mind out of the way. In a safe place, don't do it in a silly place, but just in a safe place, I'll probably get out of the way. Let him... Yeah, there you go, he's doing it there, Checo. Just doesn't want to hold his teammate up, he wants McLaren to score as well as possible, and he doesn't want Hammy's tyres to deteriorate behind him in his dirty air, so he knows that Hammy will have to pit probably after about 8 or 9 laps, and roughly, and when Hammy does, Checo will take his position, at least until later in the race. So in a way, the top two, well, the Alpines are flying, absolutely flying. They've, as expected, Jan has taken the lead and has already got a 2-second gap. Now, Raptor then is effectively defending him, although McGraw and RK are also on hard tyres, so effectively, what's happening right now is going to be the exact opposite to later on. So, safety car depending, of course. Jan at the moment is going to try and create as much of a gap as he possibly can, which will then turn on its head later on when the guys behind him will go to medium tyres, he goes to hards, and they will then catch him, look to try and catch him and overtake for the win. But there we have it. At the moment, though, it's got to be said, Checo let his teammate through earlier on, but his teammate's not getting away. A little surprising, but at the moment, the problem for Hammy, he's on softs, and the problem for Hammy is that the guys ahead of him that he's trying to chase down are very quick drivers, so it's just because you got the soft tyres doesn't automatically mean you're going to fly up on the back of them, because they're very quick. Now we'll go to Kai, who's going to have a run here on RKA. And of course DRS is open, and he's got that done. The move's done way before the braking zone. And so that is Kai up into 4th place, making his medium tyres work for him. And, that little battle between the two there has actually allowed Hammy to really close the gap. It's down to 1.5 seconds already. So he is now closing the gap, and he is getting away from his teammate as well. So, Checo wouldn't have minded being maybe dragged on along a little bit with DRS. This is only one DRS zone around here, which is the pit straight. It's quite unusual these days. Most tracks now certainly have 2, and a lot of tracks have got 3 DRS zones, but not the case around here. It's kind of a catch-22 here for Hammy, because he wants to catch the cars ahead of him. That's what he wants to do. But at the same time, he could do with helping his teammate by giving him DRS. So it's a bit of a catch-22 situation. I believe Checo's got DRS. Yeah, he has. So close that gap back up again. The problem is then holding on to a guy on soft tyres around the rest of the lap. It's not easy. Anyway, sorry, I finding that little bit of stuff between the two McLarens quite interesting, but there are, of course, plenty of other things going on. So it's a freeway battle at the moment. This is Bob Dylan in P15 for Aston Martin, whose teammate Soap McPhoenix in the other Aston is creating a sandwich for the Williams of Glitch at the moment. So Williams sandwich created by Aston Martin. So Bob just got a little bit out of sorts on the exit. That's allowed Glitch to go the outside. Will Bob stay side by side? Kind of does. But what he's done actually is he's gone for the cutback, which is really clever and really well done. And he has got the position back. That was brilliantly done from Bob Dylan. He effectively gave up the position into the chicane. Avoided contact, but deliberately took the chicane in such a way that he got a better exit, a quicker exit, which allowed him to get the cut back. Both drivers have DRS, or 3 drivers in fact have DRS, as they are catching onto the back of the Red Bull of Baz. And ladies and gentlemen, there's a bit of contact between the Williams and the second Aston Martin. I think so. Smelt an opportunity then, as it looked like Glitch ran a little wide, but ended up round. He's not lost that much time. He's lost about 5 seconds, I suppose, in all. But he's on the hard tyres, so he's on a different strategy to these two. So quite honestly, he could have done with just sticking with them rather than trying to get past either of them. But yeah, it's unfortunate. But apologies. Back up at the top, we do have the battle occurring down into turn 1. So Negral was having a look at getting past the Alpine this time, but not on this occasion. Still battling now. The gap now 3 seconds to Jan. And we are reaching a point where it's probably a little bit early actually for the changeover between the tyre advantage between the mediums and the hards. It's probably a little bit early, but they're probably not that dissimilar to each other right now. I would imagine they're pretty close on that time ability. So watching that little battle though between Bob Dylan and Glitch, and so just goes to show you don't have to. I don't think for a good F1 league, I don't think you don't need fast drivers to have a good league. It's I don't mean that as any offence to the 3 drivers. Glitch is an exceptionally fast driver, and the other 2 are perfectly good themselves. But all I meant by that comment is that you don't need esports drivers to have a great league. If you have a league which is full of close drivers that know how to race, regardless of their ability, it's, as long as they know how to race side by side, then you'll have a good league that people enjoy driving in. And that's a good little battle between those 3, as the Haas is round, and oh sorry, that's on Clab down at the back. My French accent again, and he is actually ended up retired in that little moment there. So Clab is out, Skullface is out, he never rejoined back, so if he hadn't left already I'd just kick him out of the league, to be quite honest with you. That sort of behaviour. So Negral still happy sticking with Raptor, and at the ERS between the 2, they're pretty much identical, just sort of 2 or 3% separating them, which is nothing. So, oh no, I think Checo has had a moment. That's it, a chicane, I think. Just after the end of sets of 2, or the start of sets of 3, whichever way you're looking at. penalties popping up, but I would imagine there's going to be a lot more penalties by the end of this race. It's as I said earlier on, it's a very easy race to pick up penalties in. Very easy track to do so. Hammy, having pitted, Skullface car just getting in the way now, which is the reason I said about it. You know, just kicking from the lead, because I know he's ghosted, but he could have. If he didn't want to carry on, he could have just driven round to the pit lane and retired like any normal human being. But apparently that wasn't possible for him. Hammy, I've come down to this one because it is a battle between a fresh set of hards. Not really a worn set of hards. Soap's hards have done 8 laps, but so you wouldn't really say they were worn yet. Nowhere near. Really, well, they're halfway through the stint, I guess. Not even that. And these little moments where Hammy is what's going to determine his race. He needs to get past, but at the same time, he's got to do it safely and he's got to do it fairly. And I thought he was going to do what Bob did earlier, but ultimately he's going to get the run with the DRS. He might have just thrown away DRS there, you know. He could actually... Oh, I was going to say he could actually become vulnerable to get him overtaken back by Soap, but Soap runs wide out of the penultimate corner, and so Hammy will hold that position. But yeah, there you go. You see, Soap did end up with the DRS. So, anyway, Hammy is past. He's now got about a 6-second gap ahead up to Bob Dylan, so that's where he can really start to put some laps in now and get the time down and make a strategy work for him. Obviously, we know he was ahead of Checo, but Checo's had a little spin, so I'm not sure exactly where he was. I think he was ahead of Piccoloco. I think he was in P6, but I'm not entirely sure on that. And it's Piccoloco getting very close to RKA. RKA looked like he was recovering something then. I think he might have had a little moment. So I think that this is going to be close enough. Doesn't really have any energy though, Piccoloco. That's his only problem. But, there you are with the DRS and the medium tires. He's plenty of straight line speed. And through into P5 then. So, been driving well recently, Piccoloco. Enjoyed watching him last few weeks. He's driving with an extra maturity recently, which I enjoy. So, one of my drivers of the season so far, without a doubt. And so McGraw has dropped off out of the 1 second to Raptor, but he's still only 1.3 seconds away. He's only just out of it. But that gap between the two Alpines is still stuck at about 3 seconds, so we are very much at a point now where the hard tyres really should be slightly better now than the mediums. So there won't be a massive difference, not at this point, but they should be becoming the better tyre. There's Loco and RKA. Stay close. Two good drivers, these two are. I do like watching these two. So RKA picks up. So DRS, so exactly the same as last time, but the opposite way around. RKA with DRS to the inside, gets it done way before the braking zone. And, there we have it. There are some other overtaking opportunities around the track, but by far the DRS down to turn 1 is your best opportunity by a long way. So it's the best and the safest overtaking opportunity. But that one was that guy getting past Heat Gang into the second chicane in sector 1. So there are other opportunities, but just as I said, it's the safest opportunity down to turn 1 with the DRS open. I'm not sure any other attempts of an overtaking here at Imola. You really do sort of take your race into your hands, sort of thing, you know, or actually no, you're putting your race in somebody else's hands effectively. And leaving a bit of chance, really. So a good race so far. Enjoying this. As Piccoloco's first to pit then of the medium drivers. Matex follows him in as well. It's a quick stop from Piccoloco. And Matex in the Williams will be right up to the end of the garage. So here he is. Hard's waiting for him. And on they go. So there's every chance you might see one or two of the medium drivers trying to extend their stints out a bit. Jan, though, you're really starting to see the advantage of the hard tyres now, as Jan has already lost a second to Raptor. And he's not had an incident or anything. That is a genuine... He's lost that time. As RKA... Well, now Piccoloco's out the way. He's battling with Kai, look. And again, Kai's on the medium tyres that are really showing the wear now. They are really, really worn. Our race leader is in. So Jan into the pits. So this is going to be Raptor and the Growl's time to shine. And RKA's. Presumably, Kai will... No, he doesn't. I'm surprised. Well, I was going to say I'm surprised at that. On the other hand, he's got DRS and he's going to get back past RKA. So maybe opting to stay another lap as he had DRS. That is not ideal for RKA at all. He won't be over the moon. Now look at Handel. Jan goes past him. Handel almost seems to just sort of let that happen, really. Don't seem too bothered about trying to defend it, and I don't blame him. What a race Handel's having. You've got to give it to him. Brilliant sprint race up 10 places, and he's up 4 places in the race so far. And he's genuinely in that position. It's not as if the drivers all behind him don't need to pit. The only ones really are Hammy and Piccoloco and Matex. Everybody else still needs to pit. Raptor has picked himself up 3 seconds, which may well hurt him in the long run. The question for this lap now is, will Kai pit? Surely he's got to pit. They're dead. The tyres are dead. They've done 15 laps, but he's not. He's staying out again. And surely you would think RKA will just fly past here. I'm not sure nothing else can really happen. He does squeeze him a bit, but I say he squeezed him a bit. Technically, he left loads of room on the outside. Oh, there's a little touch between the two. And, well, everybody will have a view on that sort of thing, but I think maybe with the fact that his tyres are dead, pretty much, Kai might have been a bit better served by just edging out of that. Backing out of that a little bit. Mr. Guy was on the inside. Yeah, I initially said that Kai squeezed him, but he didn't. Because he's left loads of room to the other side. It's just that RKA was so determined to have the inside of turn 1 that he opted to be squeezed, if you like, rather than going around the outside. There you go, and away McGraw's in. Okay, so McGraw is pitting very early off of the hard tyres. He's completed 15 laps on the hards, which means he'll be doing 17 laps on mediums, so it's a bit surprising, isn't it? I'm not sure. Not sure that's the way to go. Generally, you might get an extra lap or two at the mediums by using them on the second run instead of the first because of the difference in fuel, the weight of the car. I've just realised it's a safety car out. My apologies. I didn't notice the safety car. Why is the safety car out? Why? Nothing's happened, is it? Skullfish still ghosting around. on Crab's the only retirement. I don't know what's happened to cause the safety car whatsoever. Not a clue. I actually think the leaders can feel a bit hard done by on this, because, well, Jan can definitely feel hard done by on this, because he's lost the advantage that he gained on his first stint, despite the fact that nothing's happened. Yes, as well, you need to have it on reduced. Is it not on reduced safety car? It should be on reduced. I will never understand why we don't have it on reduced. Please tell me it's on reduced. Oh, this is just a silly thing. It's not there. It's on standard C. Anybody out there that runs the league or is admin in the league, get your lead to stick it on reduced safety car. The reason I say that is it's not because you get too many safety cars necessarily on standard. It depends on the driving, but it genuinely is the more realistic setting. That's generally what we want for leagues, is the most realistic setting, and the reduced safety car setting is the most realistic in the sense of they don't just shove a safety car out because there's a little bit of debris on the track, which they wouldn't in real life. At the absolute most, for debris in real life, you'd get a virtual safety car. Unless it's been like a crash between like 8 cars and there's debris all over the track, then they probably red flag the race altogether, but you know what I mean. Skullface, you're taking the piss, pal. Just rejoined. Perhaps he's learned that there's a safety car, so he's just rejoined and takes control of his car. Let's have a look. I'm just going to stay on board and just watch this a little bit. He's a lap down in a way. Don't know if he's realised that yet, but he is a lap down. Yeah, Black Reaper's a lap down as well. It's behind Jan by the looks of it. I don't know if those guys can maybe realise and maybe allow him past if they're listening. They've got plenty of time. There's a car that's only just going through turn 1, so just going to have to catch up. So we've got plenty of time to allow him past. So it's not really a done thing, to be honest, but sometimes it does happen. Of course, it does take the driver's got to be aware that the car behind is a lap car, of course. So still don't really know what this guy's doing. So I'm just going to come back. Let's have a look at this game card. We'll just show on F1 now, so it's off onto another game for a bit and then come back to F1. Always nice. I've forgotten what the other game was now. We saw it. I did mention it earlier in the stream if anybody cares. Yeah, just really staying on this driver because I just don't understand why they've rejoined. Ultimately, what we're actually doing at the moment is Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider just needs to catch back up to the back of the pack. He's just come through the double right-hander and is heading up to the chicane that will take him into sector 3. So he's not that far off now, so this next lap should be the final lap under safety car. Fortunately, it doesn't look like the front guys have... Well, either they've not noticed that that Reaper's a lap down to let him through, or they just haven't let him through, because let's say it's not generally a done thing. I think it's generally something that most gamers do want. Most drivers do tend to say they would love to see a thing in the game that comes up to allow lapped cars through, but Coders himself has actually said that it's extremely hard. They are aware that it's actually the #1 thing that's wanted for the F1 game by the fans, but they have actually stated that it's an incredibly difficult bit of coding to do because it has to be completely separate from the rest of the game. It's I don't understand all that stuff, guys, so it's probably not my best me understanding it, but I'm sure you could Google it if you wanted to find out a bit more about it. But yeah, basically coders have said look, it is on their list of things to do for future versions of the game, but it probably won't be in 2023. It's an incredibly complicated thing that they do want to add, but they can't do it at the moment, basically. So in a way, safety car in this lap. So again, any drivers, you cannot drive side by side under a safety car restart. Please remember. You must remain a full car width behind the car ahead of you until you have crossed the safety car line, which they all have now. The guys at the very back hadn't, but they all have now. And away we go. The reason that car is ghosted, by the way, is because that car is a lap down. That is, it's actually who we're with, Black Reaper, but away we've gone in a way. So Raptor leads, Negrao in P2, Jan, who's unfortunately been done over a bit by that safety car. There's P3, RKA gets ahead of Piccoloco for P4. Just about saw that one, and sitting behind. And in these circles, it's always difficult, isn't it? Oh, I think Hand Dog's off. Oh no! Looked to me like he lost it. I caught such a short glimpse of it. I'm not really sure what happened. Oh, what a! I think it's his debut as well. And what a debut he was having. It's well, whatever happens before the end of this race, Sandog, I think you can still walk away proud. You've put a really good showing of yourself in tonight, so well done. So make that back up a little bit, but and Skullface retires in the pit lane. Then I don't know, maybe somebody said something to him to come and retire his car or something, and he's done it. Actually didn't realise to do it. I don't know. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Although he could have retired it in the pit lane at any point under the safety car, so I'm not really too sure. Well, they're getting away from Jan at the front. Raptor's going away from the Growl. Jan, they're both getting away from Jan. But of course Raptor has that 3 seconds, so ultimately he's going to have to create that gap somehow, which may be a lot easier said than done. He does have a lap advantage over the Growl on the tyres. You never know, that could play a little part later in the race. So stick with this one at the moment. We've got Kai and Matex really close. Matex gets a bit of oversteer there, but handles it well. DRS is now enabled. So of course won't get it here, but next time round they will. But he looks like he's got a good toe. In fact, he's done it with the toe. and ERS instead. And Matex up into P6. Yeah, Matex does have a penalty, so ultimately if Guy holds onto the back of him, he'll have that place back at the end in a way, as it stands at the moment. Checo, look, in P8, having an absolutely superb race. Really is doing well. And, he's done everything he can for his teammate as well throughout the race and the sprint. He does find himself back in a similar situation to at the start of the race, doesn't he, where his teammate's on a better tyre at the moment. But we'll have to see. We do swap it. It's been quite interesting between the two McLarens today. I don't know, perhaps it's just nerds like me. It's find it quite interesting, but I think it has been. Just seeing how they're dealing with it, how to see what they're doing. And how they work together, that sort of thing. I enjoy all that. My sort of past racing, I've been in both situations where I've been the slower driver in a teammate pair. I've been the other way around and been the faster driver as well. And it can, you know, the faster driver. I think when you're in that situation and you're the faster driver, you do kind of think that it should all be done to aid you, but that's just not the way it is. And unfortunately, it looks like Kai's had a spin. He has indeed. He ends up recovering it, and he's just behind his teammate then, which is Baz. So I think it looks like, yeah. So it looks like I don't know whether Checo let him go or whether he's overtaken him, but it looks like Checo's allowed a hammy pass again. So I'd like to think if I was Hami's teammate and I've let him pass particularly twice in a race, if he can't get further up the field, if he can't get ahead of the guys ahead of him, then later on he'd give that place back. But we'll see. It'll be a nice gesture. But of course, for now, he just needs to, don't worry about that for now. He just needs to concentrate on trying to get up the field. He has got a chance. He has much nicer tyres than Matex, and he's caught on to Matex really quickly. So I'm going to go back to it because he's really flying at the moment, Hami. Now they've all got penalties. I don't particularly want to bring the penalties up yet, guys. It's a bit early. Still got 9 laps to go, so I'd rather sort of wait. Oh, we've got a retirement, and that's going to be a safety car. It's the Ferrari of Black Reaper. Ah, Black Reaper. So close to the end. A shame. But I think you did better than last week, Reaper. But next week's goal is going to be finish the race. But unlucky. It has indeed brought out a full safety car. So, well, this can be so difficult. It's a nightmare for Raptor because he's got a penalty. So I'm going to go against what I said. I'm going to bring the penalties up now because I don't usually do this. I usually wait until about 3 laps from the end. But I think Raptor's got a pit. I think he is pitting, is he? Yeah, he has. And so he's going to go onto the softs. And I think the reason for that is because of the penalty. So if he stays on the mediums, he's done. He just loses the win from the penalty. By going on to the softs, he'd probably be hoping that a few are pit behind him as well, so he don't lose too many places. It looks... well, there's another car coming up. He's going to lose one more place, I think, to Soap. But he should come out in P7, which isn't too bad. And he's going to have a big power advantage on the softs, so... he's only got 3 seconds. Soap's got 11, so he's sort of out of the equation in a way, in that sense. That would suggest, though, Soap, that you must have a 5-second in there, so you could actually get rid of 5 seconds of penalty there by pitting. So surely you'd be better off pitting. So you might actually find Soap pits on the next time round, maybe. Surely getting rid of 5 seconds at this point in the race would be much better than holding on to it. If he holds on, if you think about it in a sense of, yes, he's gone up to 6th place, but he's now got 11. He's still got 11 seconds of penalties, which he could pit and reduce to 6. The problem at the moment is he's got an extra 5 seconds of penalties, and everybody behind him has better tyres than him. So it's as you can see, when I said everybody behind him before actually switching that view, I didn't realise it was quite literally everybody has gone to soft tyres, but I think ultimately, yeah, the safety car's not going to go yet. I think so. Surely he's got a pit. I don't see anything good about staying out here for Soap at all. He has to pit. He doesn't. I think well, we'll see how he gets on. Maybe it'll work out for him, but I think if he watches this back at a later point... Oh no, Handog's been disqualified from the session for ignoring yellow flag. Oh, I think he ended up a lap down, and that wasn't him that's just driven off into the wall, by the way. That's it. It already disqualified him out. So that was an AI thing. Maybe he was trying to get the message across to let him pass. I don't know, but somehow he's ended up a lap down. That's such a shame. Handog, if you're listening at all, you've actually had a really good race. You really don't deserve that. Overall tonight, considering you were disqualified from qualifying, you made up 10 places in the sprint. At one point in this, you were up 4 places, and I think you had a couple of cars behind you that had already pitted, so you probably would have lost a couple of those places. But you were up from where you started again in the race. So you were having an absolutely brilliant night, to be quite honest with you. These things happen, I suppose. Part of racing, isn't it? Frustrating. I know I've thrown a few... I only used pad, I don't use wheel, but I know I've thrown a few pads before. A few paddies, if you call them. A few paddies. Right, so... strange situation here. We've got the top 6 drivers on very worn tyres, and everybody from 7th right the way down to the current last place, which is 16th, on brand new soft tyres. The top 3 are penalty free. Glitch, the next 6 cars ahead of him, all have penalties. Oh, there's a contact between Picoloco and Matex. Oh, that was a big one. That was a big one. Oh, there might be a bit of arguing about that, but that was a big contact, and big contacts into the wall, and they are out. Wow, okay. That changes things. So then, Raptor then is into P4 already. Aided by that collision, and as RKA picks up 3 seconds. So RKA doing what he could do there to try and battle Raptor, but ultimately it's ended up costing him 3 seconds with a penalty in a battle he was surely never going to win. I don't know, you know, against a driver like myself who's slower than the top guys. Maybe you could have done it, but against one of the other fast guys on track, it's not an impossibility. Now you would assume that Jan is just going to mind out the way. Don't even have to slow down as such. Just drive normal pace. Don't use any energy, and your teammate will go past you. So that's what he's done, and he's saying to Raptor, "Go get him, go get him, Tiger." Well, go and get him, Raptor, I suppose. So who was that across the? Absolutely no idea who that was. Somebody went across, didn't they? Picoloco lose the session. Sorry that's ended like that for you too, Picoloco and Matex. Sorry that's ended up in that situation. But you had both driven really well up to that point, to be honest. Just a shame. Again, these things happen. If one of you does feel that the other was wrong, then please put a ticket in. Don't argue about it in the chat. Just put a ticket in. Be mature. And, I've just realised there's another safety car. What's this one for then? Ghost Rider is out. I swear that safety cars are coming out sneakily. They're like ninjas. Ninja safety cars. So, this safety car may well mean that we do... I think this safety car will mean that we won't get DRS again in this race. So we're about to go on to lap 29. There we go. Pick the safety car up this lap. It will do another lap after, so it's going to do lap 29 and lap 30, meaning we'll get 2 more laps. So yeah, we will not see DRS again in this race. So, as long as I don't do anything silly from me, this man currently leading is looking great for victory. Even if Raptor gets ahead of him, surely getting a further 3 seconds up the road is going to be a bit much to ask in just the 2 laps. So, said that is, well, to be fair, McGraw's mediums aren't actually as worn as they should be because of the safety car laps we've done. Is it mediums or is it hards for McGraw? I think it was mediums, wasn't it? Mediums, yeah. It's Jan that's on hards, so yeah. I think ultimately Jan's been slightly robbed a little bit of the chance of victory here. Alpine are actually in a strange situation now. So, on the last restart, what's basically happened is Rapture's gotten up behind Jan, and then on the next lap, Jan mines out the way. He doesn't really slow down for his teammate, he just doesn't use any energy or anything like that, and allows his teammate to go through into P2. Now, the funny thing here is, ideally, it'd be the other way round now. They would much prefer to have Jan in P2 now, because Raptor, despite having the soft tyres, he's got the penalty. So, and we're at a point where Jan's hard tyres are probably capable of battling McGraw's mediums. So, it would probably be better for Alpine if Jan was ahead of Raptor now, in terms of their opportunities of winning this race. I wonder if they'll... With what we've seen throughout the race, it does appear to me that they are talking to each other, I think. So it'd be good to see what they do. But it does appear to me now that it would be better to have them the opposite way around. It'd be a bit difficult doing that on a restart, because it can be a bit fast and furious. It can lift slightly, you could well leave yourself vulnerable, and they will want to do it earlier rather than later. They want to give, if they're going to do it, they want to give Jan every opportunity to try and, as much opportunity as possible to attack McGraw to take this victory. But see, as I say, doing it on the actual straight off on the restart could put Raptor in danger. The other reason they can do it, look, is because you've got Raptor on the 3 seconds, but if he drops to P3, all the way down to P8 all have penalties as well. It's only Glitch and Bads that are penalty free outside the top 3, so they're certainly going to find themselves shooting up a bit. Sorry, I accidentally pressed my Xbox button then. Safety car in this lap. Yeah, Glitch could really fly up the order if they do stay really close this lot, which they should. You'd think they will. It's only going to be 2 laps. It's the ones like RKA and Hammy that only have the 3 seconds and are like 4 or 5 cars ahead of him. It's going to be difficult to stay within 3 seconds of them, but we'll see. Anyway, away we go. What are the Alpines going to do? We're on board here. So it is difficult. And they might even turn around and say, look, it's not actually P2 and P3 is very much a good day's work, and not worry about it too much. Raptor is right on the back of the growl, but as we said, he's got to get 3 seconds up the road as well, so... And, not ideal for glitch that. He's dropped down below. Heat Gang, is he, or is he going to hold on to it? Yeah, Heat Gang runs out wide. Oh, he did rejoin the kit. I thought he'd rejoined unsafely, but it looks like he's okay. Let's go back to the front because it's a little interesting. Well, it's difficult on it because Jan doesn't exactly look like he's finding it particularly easy to stay on the back of them. See that? He does have more energy. So, yeah, I think maybe the race is run in that sense. So, here goes Raptor in a way, and he's going to take the lead on track. We'll see what sort of gap he can create, but I'm sure it won't be 3 seconds. But ultimately, he will stay on the podium regardless. He's not going to lose that much, but Sky picks himself up 3 seconds. That's frustrating. Although actually it doesn't. Well, it does mean he's almost certainly going to fall down below glitch actually, so it does affect him. But he's probably going to in a way actually. To be honest, so it probably doesn't affect him really, unless he drops down below that guy as well. That's the only thing. Well, half a second difference, 4 attempts. I'm out. I'm enjoying seeing there's no silly shenanigans. There's no silly shenanigans from Raptor trying to slow the man down. He's, in fact, I think Raptor's picked up an additional penalty. So my suggestion he won't fall off the podium is wrong now. He will fall off the podium. So Raptor finishes first on track, but the Growl is promoted to race victor. Jan P2 RKA goes up to P3 and takes a podium. Raptor in the end P4. Hammy was 5th. I'll do the rest of the countdown. It's happened really quickly because they're all bunched up from the safety cars. So I'll do the rest of the countdown when the screen comes up. The Game Awards driver of the day to Bob Dylan. I'll take a look in a second if I agree with that. And award my driver of the day as well. And actually got time to see him on the podium this week. We'd take a little look, see what silly dance he does. Here we go. I'd say it's not the worst dance I've seen. He does do some right ones, some of them. Celebrates his Imola victory. Brilliant, gigantic trophy. Champagne. Italian wine. You can have champagne, surely. Italian wine. Italian sparkling wine. Actually, no, it'd be champagne. It's French. So, there we go. Nagral. Victor wins. No, he doesn't. Sorry. Let's get to the race results. Sorry, yes, Nagral does win. In Imola. Jan P2. RKA P3. Raptor in the end did drop off the podium down to P4. He does also pick up the fastest lap point as well, though, with a 16.858. Very handsome race lap. Hammy in P5 in the end, Glitch P6, Kai P7, Baz 8, that guy P9. Checo in 10, Bob Dylan P11. What happened to Checo? Why did he fall down? Okay, Heat Gang P12, Soap in the end P13. I said he should have pitted. Ghost Rider is the first retirement. He may well be classified, I'm not sure. In a way, ultimately, a decent race this week. I thought it was. I thought it was quite a decent race this week. I quite enjoyed it. It was a lot better this week. I did enjoy that. Bob, if you're listening, I thought that was much better this week. There were some contacts. There always is, isn't there? There's always going to be some contacts. It happens. But I didn't see any silliness. the skull guy needs looking at. I'm not sure what he was up to, but yeah. Other than that, I did think it was a good race. There's some good battles. There's some good moves down into turn one specifically. There's some great battles. There's the moment between Picoloco and Matex, which was a shame. It's a shame it happened, but these things happen. It was a big one. Yeah, I finished in time this week. I'll be I'll be in the lobby in just a moment. It was definitely one hell of a roller coaster glitch. But hey, you stay penalty free and you've been rewarded because of that. So, which you deserve to be. So, you know, um, yeah, I think actually, do you know what, Glitch? You're my driver of the day as well. I'm going to give you driver of the day this week. Um, Anybody who watches my streams knows that I only give driver of the day to a penalty free driver, and out of the penalty free drivers, I think you impressed the most this week. So, well done to you. And yeah, there we go. But yeah, as far as WRL goes, guys, that was much better this week. I really enjoyed that race. That was really good. I do suggest watching it back. Maybe skip through the safety cars, obviously, but it's Imola. There's always going to be safety cars at Imola. It's particularly when it's on standard on safety car. Bob, if you're listening, Bob or mate, whoever it is that does the lobbies, please put the safety car on reduced. It's so much more. It's just the realistic setting. Otherwise, you get safety cars coming out for little bits of debris. One of those safety cars, I don't even know why it came out. I've no idea at all. Nothing happened, and it just decided to send a safety car out. So, Anyway, that's me going on now. Guys, I will be back for the 8 o'clock race for HRF1, so please come and see us on that one. We are at Silverstone, and just like this race, it will be a sprint race as well, so please come and join me for that one. Anyway, thanks to everybody that's kept me entertained in the chat and everybody that's watched along with me. I really do appreciate it, guys, as does the league. So thank you to all of you and everybody that watches the stream back at a later point as well. So really appreciate it. I'll pop in a Discord a bit later on, but obviously I've got to go onto the other stream now, so I'll pop into the Discord a bit later on. See you there. But other than that, we'll see you again next week. Thank you very much. Good night, God bless, enjoy the weeks.